Welcome to Music with Mrs. Avery. Hello everyone. We are going to be learning about the space notes on a treble clef staff. But before we get started, you are going to need two things. You are going to need a blank piece of lined notebook paper and a pencil. So go ahead and pause this video so that you can go and get those materials. Now that you have your materials, let's get started. Take your lined piece of notebook paper and your pencil, and you're going to draw a staff. Remember to use the blue lines on the lined paper to guide your lines. You can trace them with your pencil, but remember to only draw 5 lines because we know a staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. So your paper should look just like mine, except your lines are drawn in pencil. Now let's double check and count our lines from the bottom to the top just to make sure that we have 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. Now, keep that piece of paper in front of you because we are going to work together and learn how to analyze the space notes on a treble clef staff. So before we start drawing our notes, let's go ahead and draw a treble clef. So all the way to the left of your staff, we are going to draw that straight line down. Remember, we start above line 5 and we draw a straight line down to line 1. Now we're going to count up to line 4, make a little dot where line 4 and that line we just drew intersect. Now we're going to draw a backward S. Remember, that backward S should start at the very top of the first line you drew and end on line 1. Next is our backward C, which comes up right in between lines 2 and 3. Then it's going to cross over that original line and just wrap down past line 2. And last, we're going to add our little tail. So your treble clef should look like my treble clef. Go ahead and double check to make sure that your backward S intersects on line 4 and your backward C crosses over between lines 2 and 3 and then wraps back down around line 2. Now, let's get started learning about the space notes. So the space notes are drawn in the spaces. And when we draw a space note, the note will touch both lines it is between, but it will never cross over the lines. So, if we draw a note in that first space, it would look like this. Notice my note does not cross over either line. It fills up the entire space. This is incorrect. You see, this one is too big. Now, look at this note. This note is too small. It should fill up the entire space. So, what I'd like for you to do is practice drawing your space notes. And we're going to draw a space note in space 1, in space 2, in space 3, and in space 4. Now remember, all of your notes should be the same size and they should be spaced out across your staff. So when you are finished, your paper should look like mine. Remember, the space note does not cross any lines. It's very neatly drawn in between the lines and it fills up the whole space. Remember to evenly space out your notes. Great. Go ahead and put your pencil down and get your hand out. Remember, we're going to look at our palm turn our hand sideways so that our pinky is on the bottom. Now, just for review, let's count our fingers, which are the lines of our staff, from the bottom to top, always. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in this lesson, we are going to be using those spaces between the lines. So, starting at the bottom, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent, so we count the spaces of the staff from the bottom to the top. Let's do it again and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Now, can you say the word space? Great. So, when we are analyzing the space notes on the Treble Clef staff, we use a word to help us, and this word rhymes with space. The word is face. Can you say face? Great. Can you spell the word face? Here we go. F-A-C-E. Excellent. Let's spell it again. F-A-C-E. So we will use the word face when we are trying to determine the letter name of the note. Let's get our hand back out. Get it in the correct position. Let's count our spaces again from the bottom to the top. Here we go and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. This time, let's spell the word face. And as we say a new letter, we're going to move to the next space. Ready? And. F-A-C-E. Excellent. Let's spell it again. Go. F-A-C-E. One more time. Ready? And. F-A-C-E. Fantastic. So let's look back at our paper. Go ahead and pick your pencil up. So we will look. This note is in space number 1. That's right. We get our hand out. We find space number 1. 1. Then we're going to spell our word. F-A-C-E. So which letter did we say when our finger was in space 1? F. That is correct. So the note in the first space of the Treble Clef staff is an F. And remember, we always label underneath the note and we use a capital letter. Let's keep going. Let's figure out which space this note is in. 1, 2. Let's get our hand out. Let's count. Ready? And 1, 2. Now let's spell our word. F-A-C-E. Well, which letter did we say in space 2? A. That is correct. So we're going to label that note with a capital A. Remember, your letters should be in a straight line underneath the notes. They should not go in a diagonal. They should always stay underneath the stack lines. Fantastic. Let's move on to the third note. We see it's in the third space. Let's get our hands out. Let's count and go. 1, 2, 3. Yes, spell our word and go. F-A-C-E. Well, which letter did we say in space 3? C. That is correct. Excellent. Last one. This last note is in space 4. Hands out, ready to count and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's spell our word and go. F-A-C-E. Well, which letter did we say in space 4? E. That's correct. So take a minute, look at your paper, and look at my paper, and make sure that they look the same. Make sure to fix any corrections, make sure your notes are drawn, and fill in the entire space. Make sure your letters are in capitals, right? We always label our, our notes with capital letters. Thank you for working so hard on analyzing the space notes with me. Remember, we count the spaces between our fingers from bottom to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the word we use rhymes with space. Face. F-A-C-E. Can you do that with me one more time? F-A-C-E. For your assignment in Google Classroom, I would like for you to take a picture of the work that you completed during the lesson. Make sure to hold your camera nice and still so that your picture comes out nice and clear. Then you can upload it and submit. I cannot wait to see your work. Thank you for joining me.